talking about being runners. Sometimes we can run away from God, and sometimes we can run to God. Moses was a man who ran away from God. He ran away from God. The Israelites were in slavery in Egypt, and God heard their cries and he heard their supplication. They came up before God, and God was getting ready to deliver the Israelites or the Hebrews out of the hands of the Egyptians. And so he raised Moses up to do it. Now he raised Moses up to do it. He raised him up as a child. Moses was a Hebrew, but Moses lived in the Egyptian palace. He was raised by Pharaoh's daughter. Moses' mother was looking to hide him because the male children was to be killed because they were growing so fast. And Pharaoh, the king at that time, was afraid that the Israelites was going to eventually overtake them. So Moses' mother put Moses in the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter saw her servant and told her servant to go and get the child. The child came out of the river, and Pharaoh's daughter was going to take care of her or take care of him. Now, when Pharaoh's servant saw the child and saw the child was a Hebrew, the servant said, "Do you want me to go and get a Hebrew woman to take care of this child?" "Yes, go and do it." And so Moses' mother ended up raising him. Now, so we see welfare at its finest, the first case of welfare, because she took care of her child and she was paid to take care of her child. And so when she took care of her child, the child grew up and she gave the child back to Pharaoh's daughter. And he grew up in Pharaoh's palace. Pharaoh was a strong man. He was a king. Now, Pharaoh was not his name, but Pharaoh was his title, his position. It's like the president. You got President Clinton, President Bush, President Trump, but they just call him the president. So the same Pharaoh in the book of Genesis is a different Pharaoh in the book of Exodus. And the same Pharaoh who wanted to kill Moses is a different Pharaoh than the one that ended up drowning in the Red Sea. And so when Moses grew up in the house of the Egyptians, he understood their customs and everything that took place there. And so he knew that there was a calling on his life, and he knew that it was something about him. He didn't look like them, but he grew up with them, and he was raised like them, and he saw a Hebrew being mistreated, one of his own kind being mistreated by an Egyptian, and he killed him. Two Hebrews was fighting the next day, and Moses dealt with the one that was in the wrong, and the other Hebrews said, "What you gonna do, kill me like you killed that Egyptian?" And so when he found out that Pharaoh knew about it, and Pharaoh wanted to kill him, Moses ran. He got away. He said, "I'm not willing to deal with this. I'm not willing to deal with this drama, to deal with this pain, to deal with the outcome of murdering this man." So he was a fugitive on the run. I'm on the run now. I'm on the run. I can't. And he went to Midian. And he went to Midian. When he went there, God blessed him. Now, how is it that God blessed him? He became a shepherd when he was over in Midian, and God blessed him. Even though he was a murderer, even though he did what he did, he was on the run, but God still blessed him. Married a woman by the name of Zipporah, and God blessed him. His father-in-law, Jethro, was with him, and God blessed him. And he was over there not for a year. He was not on the run for a year or 2 or 3 or 5 years. He was on the run for 40 years. So for 40 years of his life, the second 40 years of his life, the first 40 he was in Egypt, the second 40 years of his life he was in Midian. And so until he was 80 years of age. And so he's over there for 40 years of his life, I believe, thinking that he was going to die in Midian, thinking that that was it for him. It was really no more purpose for him. It was no more hope for him because he had lived, to be an old man. And so what is there to do now being an old man? But it was some things that he needed to get right, and it was some things that God wanted to do in his life because God was not through with him. I don't know what it is that some of you going through today, but understand that if you're here, if you're breathing, God is not through with you. He ain't through with you. A lot of times we live with issues and in life we go through things, and sometimes we sweep things under the rug. Some of us have been molested. Some of us have been raped. We've been abused. We've dealt with alcohol. Some of us have had several abortions, been bankrupt, dealt with abuse, dealt with drugs, crack cocaine, been hurt, got a criminal record, in debt, Just so many different issues that we had, issues with the mother of your children or the father of your children. And sometimes when we deal with issues of hurt, pain, neglect, abandonment, we run. We run because I don't want to face it. We run. Sometimes we move far away. I don't want to face what went on back at home. I don't want to face what went on back at this job. It's better for me to be away. So we run from it and we sweep things under the rug. And so we do one or two things because sometimes we live with these issues, and when we live with these issues, we allow these issues to be attached to us. And one approach that we take, we say, I've been hurt, I've been abused, and so I have a right to be like this. I've been abandoned, so I have a right to be like this. I have a right to be angry. I have a right to be bitter. I have a right to not forgive. Because if you understood what my mom did to me or what my mom allowed to happen to me, and I tell my testimony, but I only give part of my testimony because if I told all of my testimony, y'all wouldn't be able to handle it. Right. So you can't handle the truth. Because, see, I can say that I was abused, but when you find out who actually abused me, see, it's going to be some major issues. And so I don't share everything. And so I feel that I have a right to be how I am. I have a right to be this way because somebody close to me hurt me. And I don't want to really expose this because we got this little happy family and we got this, and if I really tell mama really what happened, then this family is not going to be so happy anymore. And so I just want to keep peace. I don't really say anything because I'm okay and I'm married anyway. I'm okay and I'm in a relationship. I got my kids and we're doing okay anyway. So I really don't need to deal with this. I really don't need to deal with what happened in my childhood because I'm okay anyway. I'm blessed anyway. So, I'm good. And just to keep peace anyway. And I sort of tried to hint around to it and I saw her response. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to be good with what happened. And so sometimes we carry these things into relationships, into our jobs, into our situations, and we don't really understand how they affect us. The hurt, the pain, the divorce, the abortions, and we just carry it into different relationships. But it's difficult for us to get to the next place and to the next point and to move on and to really be effective and efficient because we carry all of this around with us. And so some of us, we live there. We live on that end of the spectrum. I carry all of this with me. My pain, my hurt, my trauma, everything that happened. And that's what I do. And this is with me, and this goes with me. This hurt goes with me. And some of us say, I'm not carrying this with me. I'm not dealing with this stuff. I'm not dealing with what happened with me. I'm not dealing with these issues of my children and issues of I got molested. My mama got molested. My children got molested. I'm not dealing with this stuff. I don't know what's going on, and I'm not dealing with it because it's too painful. I've been abandoned. My daddy didn't want to deal with me, and I don't know why he doesn't want to deal with me. And I really don't care why I'm not dealing with it because it's too painful to deal with the fact that he doesn't want me. It's too painful. So everything that happened to me, I know I was raped, but maybe if I just act like it didn't happen, then I can get this out of my head. But I need to just move on because it's difficult for me to be effective because I've seen women who just hold on to this abuse and hold on to this rape and they act like somebody owed them something. I refuse to be that woman. I'm the type of woman that say, you know what, you need to get over it. It happened when I was 15 and I feel like I'm okay. I got a good job and can't nobody tell. I lift up my hands, I praise God. I got a good job and can't nobody tell what I'm going through anyway. And I don't have to go back and deal with it because I feel like I done dealt with it. It ain't affecting me anyway. It's affecting me a little bit, me and my marriage, and sometimes I, had a little flashbacks, but I'm okay. And so what we've done is we say, I'm going to sweep this under the rug. I got to sweep it under the rug. I push it under the rug. But the bottom line, it's under the rug. I kick it under the rug. But see, the bottom line is, long as you don't see my issue, I'm okay. See, when I get this microphone, I just need you not see my issue. Because if you see my issue, you may not want me to have this microphone. And that's what I'm afraid of. Because if you know what I really went through, you may not want me to be your worship leader. If you knew what I went through, you may not want me to be your preacher. If you knew what I went through, you may not want me to be your minister of music. If you really knew what I went through. So I don't really talk a lot about this. I swept it under the rug and I move on. That happened and I'm good. And I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to deal with it That's how I was raised. We didn't talk about it. We didn't deal with it. We just keep it moving. And I've learned, I love when it came out, just keep it moving. Because that's what I've been doing all of my life. I've been keeping it moving. And when I apply for the job, you can't tell what I've been through. When I'm in relationship, you can't really tell what I've been through until you really get deep with me, until you really see it. Well, I don't think you can tell, but it sort of show up. It sort of show up in when you get deep. So I don't like to get deep, and I don't like to really form really tight relationships because sometimes it show up. So I'm a runner. I run from what's under this rug. Whatever it is that's under the rug, I run from it. I've been running from it for years, and it shows up in different ways. I lead a city. I get in this relationship. I go over here, but I've just been running. I've just been evading it altogether. Man, there's some tough stuff up under there. And I don't want to go back and relive what I went through. A couple of things I want to share with you. Number one is don't allow the blessings of God to become a license for you to not deal with your issue. Let me say that again. Don't allow the blessings of God to become a license for you not to deal with your issues. In other words, this is what happened. You get over here and God will bless you over here. And you look good over here, and you handsome over here, and you cute over here. But what will happen is you allow the blessings of God to become a license. So now because I'm blessed, I don't really need to deal with that. I mean, I got my degree. I didn't need my daddy to get my degree. I didn't need my mama to. I'm over here. Matter of fact, I got a couple of degrees, so I'm okay. So the blessings of God is with me. So I don't have to go back and deal with anything because I'm okay. According to society, I'm good. There's a man in the Bible by the name of Jacob who deceived his brother and deceived and tricked his father. And when he deceived his brother and tricked his father, deceived his brother out of his birthright and tricked his father out of the blessing. And his mama said, Rachel, look, we're going to send you to live in Haran with your uncle. And you're going to get as far away from your brother Esau as possible because Esau going to try to kill you. And his mama said that, listen, when his anger subsides, then I'll call you back home. So we're going to allow you to go far away so that he can forget about it. In verse 43 of chapter 27 of Genesis, she said, now then, my son, do what I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him for a while until your brother's fury subside. When your brother's no longer angry with you and forgets what you did, I'll send word for you to come back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day? He like, so, in other words, time gonna heal all wounds. In other words, if we don't talk about it, then it'll be erased. If we just don't deal with it, then, hey, listen, it really didn't happen. And that's how some of us have been functioning all our lives. Just don't deal with it. Just don't talk about it. Are you hurting? Yes, I'm hurting. Is it troubling? Yes, it's troubling. But how do you deal with it? Just don't talk about it. So that's what she taught. Since some of us you've been raised by runners. So you've seen how your mama ran. You see, that's how they handled it. That's how she ran from bills. She ran from this. She ran from men. She ran from relationships. And you've seen how she ran. And you took that on, and you'll become the very thing that you despise if you don't deal with it. The thing that you despise in her, you will become that inevitably if you don't deal with it. So you think, like, I can't believe she just won't deal with it. She's running this right here. But when you when you refuse to deal with it, you'll become her. So I gotta deal with it because you got blessed and you thought that, hey, that was your license for you not to deal with it. Because obviously God is pleased with you and where you are because you blessed, because you got it going on, because you've accomplished some things in life. And you got the letters to show for it. Now, Jacob was blessed. Even though Jacob left, he was blessed. And he went to live with Laban. When he went to live with Laban, God blessed him. And pretty much everything that he touched turned to gold. God blessed him. So Jacob could have been like, well, man, I'm good. But it came to pass where his brother and he was getting ready to reconcile because he had to go and deal with some things with his brother. He got to go and deal with some things with his brother, and he said, look, I'm not satisfied with where I am. I'm not satisfied with just being okay. I'm not satisfied with just being blessed. I want to be whole. Y'all ain't going to church with me today. Some of us are blessed, but we're not whole. You blessed, but you're broken. My God. You have seen anybody in a position of leadership and you know that they blessed, but they're broken? They blessed, but they hurt. They blessed, and you wonder, sister, girl, who hurt you? What hurt you? What did you go through? You are in this position, but you don't like men. You're in this position, and you don't like women. You're in this position, and you're mean. You don't deserve to be around people. You need to be behind a computer in a cave somewhere, working from the underground, because you shouldn't be around people who has hurt you. So you may be saved, but you're still broken. Or you're blessed, but you're still broken. Your bank account say that you're blessed, but your attitude say that you're broken. What we seeing is say that you are a broken sister. And some of us may be at that place in our life to where I'm blessed, but I'm still broken. And God said, being blessed is okay. In other words, I want to deal with your brokenness. I want to deal with the brokenness. I want to deal with that. Jacob was blessed, but he was still broken. So he had to come back and make it right with Esau. And he had to get before God and wrestle with God all night until God changed his name. He changed his character, because he said, God, it's one thing to be blessed and I'm cool with it, God, but I'm still broken, God. And that's what I'm not cool with. So I got to get on my face and I got to get in this wrestling match. And I'm going to say, I'm not going to let you go until you bless my soul. God looking for some hungry people who's saying that being blessed is cool. I got a couple of dollars in the bank. I got a couple of kids. I know what you see on the outside and you think, but there's more. There's something else in me. I got some more to give. I got some on the inside. I got some. God ain't through with me. And I ain't talking about the Steve Harvey. I'm cussing up a storm. I'm doing it up, and God ain't through with me. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, no, I'm doing everything that I can to please you. But I know, God, that you ain't through with me yet, God. That's it. Y'all ain't going to church. Yeah, you ain't through with me yet, God. You ain't through with me yet. You ain't through with me yet, God. I'm allowing you. I'm on this wheel. I'm on the potter's wheel. You can't get off the wheel and then say, God ain't through with me yet. You took yourself off the potter's wheel, and God ain't through with me yet. No, you got to be on the wheel saying, I am on the wheel, and God, you ain't through with me yet, God. I'm on the wheel. You ain't through with me. Ain't Mary, I'm on the wheel. God ain't through with me. God fixed me. You ain't through with me yet. I want to get off the wheel and that. God ain't through with me yet. No, he ain't through with you, because you ain't on the wheel. You got your tail up off the wheel. No, he ain't through. Yeah, of course he ain't through with you, because you won't let God deal with you. Some of us won't let God deal with us. Some of us won't let God convict us. You ain't convicted by certain things because you ain't going in his presence long enough. So you won't let God deal with you. You ain't trying to be convicted. You like the little kid. You won't even ask God, is it okay to watch this? Is it okay to listen to this? Thank you. 1, 2, 3 people. Because you lost me there, Pastor. God, I want to be whole, God. I want to be whole, God. And I'm getting my tail on this potter's wheel, God. And do what you will in my life, God. And if I'm talking about you ain't through with me yet, God, it's because, God, you ain't through with me yet, and not because I done jumped off the wheel. Look at somebody and say, stay on the wheel. So he was blessed, but he still had to do something. So don't allow that. I'm good. You're not good. Look at somebody and say, you ain't good. They got an attitude. If they got an attitude, then they're justified. Yep, then you ain't good. They didn't even tell you back because they knew it. I'm telling you, listen, some folks didn't even tell you back. And they didn't tell you back because they growling like, They going to play like, no, I ain't even hear what he said. I was playing with that ain't why I ain't say nothing back. Yeah, I'm watching you. You ain't good. You ain't good. Number 2. You can run. Look at somebody and say, you can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Some of us think that we can run from God, and you can run from him, but you can't hide from him. It was people that was trying to sin against God and worship idol gods, but they went into caves to worship him. Saying that if we worship idol gods in the cave, then he can't see us. Jonah ran from God, and he said, if I go to Tarshish, if I get in this boat and pay my fare and go to Tarshish, then maybe he can't catch me. Some of us have ran from God. If I go to another city, like God ain't in the city. Like he ain't in Texas. Aha, I got one. I'm going to go out of the country. Okay. Like he ain't out of the country. So Jonah wanted to run, and God, you can run, but you can't hide. Some of us act like little kids. When little kids, you know how little kids put their hand over their eyes. The kid think that since I can't see you, you can't see me. And so that's how we are. God, since you can't see me, since I can't see you, God, since I'm not in church, since I'm not in worship, since I'm hiding, since I'm hiding, since I go to another church, a big church, and hide in the big church, y'all don't want to have no church. See, right here, they may see me, you may see me, but I can go over here, and I can get behind this, and ain't nobody going to sweat me, and I can get low over here. So since I'm hiding from you, and I can't, I can't see you, you think that he can't see you. No, he still see you. He still see you hiding. He still see you ducking. And he'll send a fish to you to get you to where you need to be. You can run, but you can't hide. He let Jonah know, Jonah, you can run all you want to. You can go farthest west as you want to go, but you can't hide. There's a purpose for you. There's a mission for you. So you can run, but you can't hide. Don't allow what-ifs to run you from your purpose. I did a whole sermon series called What If. Sometimes we allow the what-ifs to run us from our purpose. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if they fire me? What if they don't come back? What if they leave me? What if they cheat on me? What if I have a disease? What if they repossess the car? What if they get foreclosed on the house? What if? What if they get sick? What if? And so oftentimes we don't move head to our purpose because we allow what ifs to keep us paralyzed. The what if will keep us stuck and we don't move. And for years, some of us have not moved because of the what if. Now, you move a little bit, you move in increments, but you hadn't thrusted into the place that God wants you to thrust into. And see, you think you're cool because you've been making little steps, and I'm cool. Because you've been satisfied with just being blessed. But your brokenness and your fear, because your brokenness could be your fear, has been really keeping you stuck in a place. And you've been saying, what if? What if I get off the boat? What if I drown? What if I swing and miss? What if I don't make the deal? What if nobody shows up? What if nobody buys it? What if nobody downloads it? What if nobody comes? So why do I do this if? Ooh. So when they ask, why hadn't you done it? I'm not going to give you the true answer. I'm going to say, no, it's just not ready yet. What I need to do, I need to put the finishing touches to this. What I need to do, I was thinking about, I'm going to go ahead and do it next year because, see, the beginning of the year, I'm going to launch out. And you keep on putting it off, and you keep on putting it off, and you keep on putting off the purpose that God has for you because of the what ifs. So you scared that what if you get in the water and you drown? But the attitude has to be, what if I don't get in the water and I die on the boat? Y'all don't want to have no church. What if I stay on this boat and I don't fulfill my destiny? What if I don't swing this bat and I won't be the home run king? What if I don't shoot this shot and I won't get the notoriety that I need to get for shooting this shot? What if I stay stuck? What if I don't start it and I don't fulfill the purpose that God has called me to fulfill because of the what ifs? What if I don't do it? Your fear need to change if you're going to have some fear. Not if what if you do it, but what if I don't do it? What if I don't move? What if I don't go? What if I don't run? What if I don't lunch? What if I don't start it? What am I leaving on the table? What am I leaving on the table in my life if I don't? At least if I do it and I fail, I did it. And I know that God, you know what? You may not have, I tried. But if you never do it, I want you to take a second to think about what is it that's in you that you're afraid of, that you're afraid to do. You know God has gifted you. You know that God has purposed you. You know that God not just gifted you. Because it's one thing, Jen, to be gifted. It's another thing to be anointed when God anoint you to do something. Your hands are anointed to do it. I can take the picture and you can take the picture. We take the same picture, but it's something about your snap. I snap it and it look blurry. We looking at the same thing, but when you snap it, everything look good. It's something about you that God said, you have a purpose, you have a calling. I've chosen you to do this. He didn't choose me to do that, so it's going to look a little different. I've blessed you. I've touched you. I've shined on you. I created you to do this. There is something about you have been anointed to do this work for me. And now I'm sitting on the bench. Sitting on the bench and not moving because I'm waiting. I'm waiting on the right camera. Before I start, I'm waiting on the right opportunity. I'm waiting. See, when I get, I wasn't even going this way. When I get this, then I do this. When I get that, then I do this. No, you got to do this, then you'll get that. You hear what I'm saying? You got to do this. You got to start moving. You got to start moving. You got to start going forward. Then God would do what He's going to do. So I got to ask myself the question, like, God, I've been running and I've been running and I've been running and been trying to hide. And I realized, God, that hiding don't work from you, God, because you'll send a fish to me. Hiding don't work, God, Lord, because you'll send a storm to me, God. God, I've been allowing the what ifs, God, to keep me, God, from my purpose, God, because I've been scared. A man named Elijah was afraid. Now, God used this man in a mighty way. He used him to proclaim that there was going to be a drought for 3 years. No rain was going to take place in the land for 3 years. And then he prayed and asked God, all right, God, go on, send the rain. And God sent the rain. He was fed by ravens, by birds. Birds came to feed him. He drunk water from a brook. God used him to bring back a widow's son to life. It was some false prophets by the name of the woman called Jezebel who would prophesy, or she would have prophets or false prophets that would prophesy and say what was going to happen, but it never would happen. The woman was so powerful that she would pay the false prophets to tell her what she wanted to hear. Elijah was not a false prophet. Elijah was a real prophet. It was one day there was a showdown because Jezebel, who was the woman, was married to a weak man by the name of Ahab. And Ahab was considered to be the most wicked king to live because he was so weak, he had no backbone. And whatever she said, whatever you say, whatever you think, wherever you want to go. And he had nothing for himself. And so Elijah got courage to go and address Ahab, and they had a showdown, and he got prophets. He said, go and get all y'all prophets, and they got his prophets and said, we're going to see who God answered by fire. Y'all call on y'all God, we're going to call on our God, and I'm going to call on my God, and we're going to see what God answered by fire. And the God of heaven, the only true and living God, answered by fire. And so they was embarrassed because their God didn't come through, and Elijah got a sword and killed 450 of the prophets of Baal. So God was with him. So God had blessed him. So God had strengthened him. So he was the guy. He was the man. God blessed. He knew the power of God. God had anointed him for this role. He had chose him for this role. Ahab ran to his wife and told Jezebel what this man did. Baby, earlier today, Elijah tripping. What did he do, baby? He gonna call fire down from heaven, and then it's gonna consume the altar, and then he gonna take the 450 prophets and gonna kill them with the sword. Now, Jezebel was OG. Jezebel like, okay, I tell you what, this we're gonna do. This we're gonna do. You let him know that by this time tomorrow, the same thing that happened to them prophets gonna happen to him. And he gonna die. Opposed to Elijah saying what I know some of y'all will say, man, what? She said what? Whoever said what? Man, you know who I am? And not just you know who I am, but you know who I represent. You know what God did earlier? God called, fire came down from heaven and consumed the altar. He strengthened me to kill 450 prophets. Now this chick gonna tell me what she gonna do? Man, bro, matter of fact, I ain't finna go back and forth with this woman. I ain't finna do that. man, I'm going to call my little cousin. Man, come on, take care of Slim. I'm not finna play no games with this. I don't even fight women, man. Go on, bro, for real, man. All right. But he was afraid of the threat of this woman. He was so afraid that he went and he hid under a broomberry tree. He went and hid under a bush. I'm not doing it. I don't want no positive. He went and hid under the bush, and not only did he go and hide under the bush, but he asked God to take his life, Miriam. He said, God, he prayed, God, take my life. I can't deal with this. Out of everything that God had done, because God didn't do this, he got so depressed that he asked God to take his life. He ran. God, just kill me. God, take my life, God. And I know a lot of us have been there before because it seemed like problems was weighing us down and things was happening and this wasn't working and that wasn't working. And you didn't really want to die, but really what it was is this. I told you before, you just didn't want to wake up. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't want to face what you was facing. And really what you was saying is, God, just take this away from me. But God, if you ain't going to take it away from me, then let me go on. I mean, oh my God, I know I don't need to be saying this, but so he said, take my life. He got discouraged because of the what ifs. Not because of something that she did, but because of something that she could potentially do. So what are you running from? What are you afraid of? Not something that the enemy did, but what you think that the enemy could potentially do. So you hadn't moved forward because what if they don't come? What if this happened? What if they shoot you? What if this? What if we go out there and don't nobody come to Jesus? What if we talk to them and they roast us? So you don't move because of what if? Elijah was afraid to move into his purpose because of what if this woman killed me? And he didn't move. Number 4. Listen, to get victory, you must travel down the road you ran from. In order to get victory, you got to travel down the same road that you ran from. See, you thought that when you ran, you was in the clear. You thought that when you got over here, it was all good. You thought that when you got in this relationship that everything was all swell now. So you ran from it. And God said, if you're going to go to the next level, the road and the route to the next level is back the same place that you ran from. Yeah. Y'all going to be clapping in a minute, but I don't get it, Pastor. You're right here, and you're good right here. And you're trying to go to the next place. And you don't know why you can't get to the next place. And you want to know, like, why can't I? I mean, I just need to, I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like we've been stuck, like, in this situation, in this marriage. And we just, in my life, I've been good, but, and I need to get over this hump. I'm saved, I love God, but I just can't get over this hump. Well, in order to get over this hump, because you think that the direction is here, because you came from this junk, and you moved over here, and you moved forward, and you moved here, and you moved here, and you moved here, and you got here, and you think that, okay, the next step is this way. But God is saying, no, that may not be it. The next step is this way. Well, I don't get that. I don't get why the next step is that way. Because that way is backwards. And this way is forward. And we sung the song, I Won't Go Back. But now, God, you telling me to go back. God, I'm trying to go forward. I'm not trying to go back. And God's saying, I believe, if you, in order for you to go forward, you got to go back. Oh, my God. To be continued. We'll finish next week. All right. So in other words, Jacob had to go back. Jacob was blessed, But now, Jacob, before your name is changed, before you become Israel, before you become that nation, you got to go back and deal with some unresolved issues from your childhood. You know Esau, who you ran from for 20 years? You got to go back and fix that. See, you was with your uncle, but there's still some things there's some manipulation in you and some trickery in you, and you got to go back and you got to get before God. You got to go back to this place and reconcile with your brother, and you got to go back and get before God so I can change some things in your life so I can move you to the next place where I'm trying to take you. So Jacob, you got to go back. Jonah, you've been running. You've been all the way on the west coast in Tarshish. You got to go back the way you came and go to where I called you to. I've called you to Nineveh. You got to minister in Nineveh. Your purpose is not in Tarshish, but your purpose is in Nineveh. Okay. Elijah, you've been depressed and you've been frustrated and you've been angry. Elijah, before you move forward in the purpose in which I've called you to move in, you got to go back and you got to get some stuff straight. Look at what he said. Look at what he said in 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 5 and 6. The Lord said to him, this is the Lord speaking to Elijah, go back the way you came. Y'all ain't going to church with me. He said, go back the way you came. So in other words, your deliverance is in you going back the way you came. Man, I've come too far. You got to go back. So you've been running from Jezebel, my Lord. But you're going to have to deal with Jezebel before you can move forward. I put a Band-Aid on this. But what happened is you put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. See, some of you got some gunshot wounds and you put a Band-Aid on it, and God said a Band-Aid ain't going to protect you from this gunshot wound. You need to come on. You need some for real work on you. So I'm peeling off the Band-Aid. And we got to go inside and take care of this. He said, go back the way you came from and go to the desert of Damascus. When you get there, anoint Hazael, king of Aram. Also anoint Jehu, the king of Nimshi, king over Israel. And anoint Elisha, the son of Shaphat, from Abel, Maholah, to succeed you as prophet. He said, so you got to go back the way you came. In other words, Roberto, he said, I ain't through with you yet. In other words, he said, there's still some work in you. There's still something that I got for you to do. He said, go back the way that you came from, man. Man, I can't do it when you're in a cave. I can't do it with you under this tree. I can't do it with you being depressed. I can't do it with you being in the state that you're in. Go back the way that you came. But God, I was trying to move forward because I thought that I was over there. You're not over there. You just ran for that. You put a Band-Aid on it, and I need to deal with you. You didn't deal with it. I did deal with it. Dealing with it is not sweeping it under the rug. And there's so many of us that walk around in our lives with issues that we've swept under the rug. And you're married, but it's issues that's been swept under the rug. You're hurt, you're in relationship, but it's been issues that's been swept under the rug. And it is hindering you from being the great mother, from being the great mother that he's called you to be. It's because you have abandonment issues. There's something that you give off to your kids. Because you have rejection issues, there's something that you give off to your kids. And until you travel down the road where you need to travel and deal with where the hurt once entered, you will never be all that God has called you to be. Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all listen. Y'all listen. I told you when somebody said I'm giving you that juice. Y'all got that juice right there. Because that right there that's the breakthrough moment. That's the juice moment. That's the wait a minute. If you didn't get nothing else today, that's what it is. Like, my God, I hadn't gone to this place because I hadn't gone to this place. In order to go to this place, and I believe everybody want to go to this place, but I got to go back here. So some of us understand that we got to go back here. So that's why some of us are comfortable with being here and being stuck, because we know that if we gonna go forward, we got to go here. And you're afraid to go back here because there's too much junk up under there. Y'all ain't gonna have no church. Y'all ain't gonna, thank you, Holy Ghost. Y'all ain't gonna have. So I don't mind being right here, because it's more hurtful to go back there than to not move from right here. So I don't mind being right here. Call it fear, call it scared, call it whatever you want to call it, but it is too ugly back there. It is too painful to go and deal with what I know I need to deal with up under this rug. Thank you. Y'all give me a minute. Preach, Pastor. My God, preach. Pastor, my Lord, help us today. Jesus. I don't know. When I hear some good stuff, when I hear, my God, Jesus. That was good, Genesis, for real. That was for real there. Because that was, my God. Because that's what a breakthrough is. You understand? That's what this ain't the church like, ooh, girl. No, this the church where you leaving thinking. You leaving, I gotta do something. If you want a breakthrough, a lot of times the breakthrough don't happen here. The breakthrough happen when you go and move and when you do something about it. The breakthrough don't happen at the altar. We get it started at the altar. We get it started, but the breakthrough happens when you shoot the email, when you make the call, when you had a conversation. That's when you see the breakthrough. Bless the name of Jesus. Ooh. Yeah. I ain't dealing with that. That's buried. That is over. I ain't dealing with that. I'm not. Oh, my Lord. Go back to where you came from. Oh, my Lord. He said, Tori said, go back. She said, I don't want to. Oh, my Lord. Come on. Go back to where you came from. Look at 1 Kings 21, 23 through 24. And also concerning Jezebel. Because he got some strength. And he got on up. And let me get up from this place. Let me go and deal with, oh, my Lord. He said, go back, Latara. Come on, give me that right there. I got to sit down and talk to y'all for a minute. He said, go back. See, that's where it is with some of us. That's where it is with some of us. Man, I can't tell you because I'm a man that when I tell y'all I got molested, that it was by a man. See, I don't want to have that story, and I got to go back and deal with that because it was my uncle that did it. And my uncle's still in the family. And they think my uncle all this right here, and I shut down shop if I tell them that it's him. And my mama, that's her brother, and this, and man, I'm not, so it's easier for me to just stay right here. When I tell y'all I done been through a lot. See, I just tell y'all part of the story. Because really what I'm saying is that, see, y'all just think being through a lot is like, okay, she was abused. Now I'm saying when I say I've been through a lot, I'm saying I was raped multiple times by different family members. I ain't talking about I was raped by the dude in the alley. I'm talking about I was raped by family members. And I tried to tell my mama, and my mama didn't want to hear it. And she told me to get over it. And she told me to stop crying and stop complaining and to shut up and deal with it. So what do I do with that? So I tried to be a big girl and go and deal with it and, shut it out of my life and be healed. I didn't get counseling, or I got counseling, I stopped going. I really didn't deal with it. And I don't want to go back to that. Because it's like, I feel like going back to that, I got to open up some wounds and some scars that I feel like I done got healed from. See, even right now, I'm a little uncomfortable. Or maybe I'm not that uncomfortable because I've learned that when people talk about things like this or real conversations, I've mentally learned how to block it out, to not allow it to penetrate me. Because it used to hurt me all the time. So when I hear these type of things, I know how to be in a conversation with you, but run at the same time. So even though we talking, I've run from my mind. I've run. So we are here, and you think you talking to me, and you are talking to me, but you ain't talking to my soul and to my mind and because that has checked out. whenever I hear these things, so that's why it don't bother me. Because when I used to hear this stuff, I used to bawl and cry, and that was too painful for me. So now I can hear this, and I can hear this, and I can look at you, and I can smile and hear it, because technically I've checked out. It's still swept under the rug. Come on, church. He said, Elijah, go back the way you came from. And that thing that's been scaring you, thank you, Jesus. That thing that you've been afraid of, that thing that you've been scared to talk about, that person that you've been scared to talk to, the things that you've been afraid to deal with. Some of it's just going to the doctor. Some of it is just, man, that. And see, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that just flippantly. You got to ask God. God, show it to me. God, speak to me. God, deal with it. God, I'll bring it to you. God, have I really gotten over this? God, is this really affecting me? God, how is this affecting me? 2011, went on a sabbatical. First sabbatical that I ever went on. Spent time in a hotel room. I think 7 or 8 days. Got before God. Laid on my face. Had to deal with things that I didn't even know that I had in me. Didn't know, I didn't feel like I swept nothing under the rug. I dealt with everything. But still just, God, have your way. Break me, God. Do whatever you will in my life, God. Break me, God. What is it, God? And he gave me some instructions of what I need to do and who I need to talk to. And that was the most liberating thing that probably ever happened to me. Because when I came from there, I didn't do it right away. But I started moving and making plans to talk to who I needed to talk to. And when I talked to who I needed to talk to and did what I needed to do, God liberated my soul. What came out of that was Innovation Church. Because I couldn't even start Innovation Church had I not dealt with what I dealt with. Y'all don't want to have no church today. Because there was still some fear. And it was still some what ifs. What if? And I kind of knew it, but I really didn't know it. And God was like, you're going to have to face it. You're going to have to grab fear by the horns and deal with fear and go forward and slang it down and stomp on it and know that I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Know that greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You got to know that, and you got to move forward in it. You preach faith and you preach power and you preach courage, but yet you're still around here operating in fear. Do what I've told you to do. Go back the way that you can. I came for vision. God, I wanted vision to move forward. And God let me know, in order for you to move forward, my son, you got to go backwards and deal with the things that you hadn't dealt with so you can get off of this bank and you can move forward and you can go unlimited, no limits, nothing stopping you, nothing holding you back. You got to go back in order for you to get what I'm giving you so that you can go forward and be everything that I'm calling you to be. That's the tough part of the message. That's the tough part. That's the part that's not so exciting, because this is where your deliverance lies. And you're going back. You put makeup on your issues. And nice suits on your issues. And wigs and extensions on your issues. You put that on your issues and you think, yeah, I done put all this on my issues, so I ain't got. You done put lipstick on. I covered up. And you got some identity here. You got something I got. You got to get. Let me stop. Let me stop right here. Let me stop right here. Listen, for some of you, I want you to get this in your spirit. Some of you have gone as far as you are going to go, lest you go back and deal with it. Come on. Some of you have gone as far as you're going. You ain't going any further. You have plateaued. You are where Jacob, you plateaued. Elijah, you plateau. Until you go back and deal with this, you have plateaued. Jacob and Leah, until you go back and deal with this, you have plateaued. And you'll be okay. And some of you okay. I just die like this. No. God, if there's more in me, if there's more that you put in me, if there's something else that you want me to do, God, and I hadn't plateaued, y'all, I got to go back and get what I need to get, God, so that I can go forward. That's why you hadn't gone forward, because you hadn't gone backwards. He told him in 1 Kings 21, 23, and 24, he said, also concerning Jezebel. He got some soul, and also concerning Jezebel, the Lord says, dogs would devour Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. He was scared of her at first, and then he got some boldness about himself. Yeah, because he's telling Ahab what's gonna happen. Ahab, and this is gonna happen. Yeah, and this how you gonna die. Yeah, Ahab. Oh, and another thing, bro. Before you leave out my sight, let me tell you like this here. Concerning that wife of yours, man. I'm going to tell you, he said, dogs going to devour Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Also, dogs will eat those belonging to Ahab who die in the city, and the birds will feed on those who die in the country. So I'm letting you know, partner, you going to die, she going to die, the birds going to eat your folks, man, and the dogs going to eat your wife, partner. Yeah, the dogs going to eat your wife. Nah. He got some boldness about himself. But he had to go back, and you got to go and deal with Jezebel. You didn't allow this woman to run you in a cave. Who have you allowed to run you into hiding? See, if God has called you here to hide, he called me here to tell you, you can't hide up in here. We ain't playing hide and go seek up in here. I see you under that chair. I see you here, but you're not here. I see you serving, but you're not serving. I see you just thinking you're going to come in and go out. You can run, but you can't hide. God has called us here, I believe, today to expose you, to say, it's time for you to stop hiding. It's time for you to move forward. It's time for you to go back. It's time for you to deal with the fear, to deal with the pain, to deal with the molestation, to deal with the abuse. It is time that you deal with everything that you have not dealt with in order for you to go to the next level. So you might as well stop hiding because you can't hide anymore. You might as well stop ducking because you can't duck anymore. I want to deal with you, and not just I don't want to deal with you to hurt you. I want to deal with you because I got a purpose in your life. But you will never fulfill the purpose that's in your life if you don't go back and deal with what you have allowed to enter into your life. I got to go back. I got to go back. I got to go back. And I got to deal with this stuff. I got to pull up the rug. And I got to deal with this stuff. And I got to grab it. And I got to deal with it. You know what? I know it's hurting. I know it's painful. I never wanted to go back a day in my life. I never wanted to revisit it a day in my life. But I got to go back. Jacob had to go back. He had to go back, and he had to deal with his brother. He had to go back and deal with his manipulation. Moses had to go back. He had to go back and deal with Pharaoh. He had to go back and deal with Egypt. The place that he ran from for 40 years, he had to go back to. Elijah had to go back. He had to go back and deal with Jezebel. Jonah had to go back. He had to go back and deal with Nineveh. You got to go back. If Jacob had to go back, if Jonah had to go back, if Elijah had to go back, if Moses had to go back, then guess what, Marcus? You got to go back. I got to go back. We all got to go back. If we're going to be truly effective, then we got to go back. I know that you thought that you was good and it was all good and it was all that. Marcus told me, he said, Pastor Myra, I thought that when I came to this church, I was good. But when I've been hearing these messages, I'm like, I'm really not good, my God. You done challenged me. I thought I was all good. But there's some things that you done pulled out of me. You done stretched out of me. You done just yanked out of me. And that's what God want to do with us on the day. He want to pull some more stuff out of you, to stretch you, to strengthen you, to yank some things in. He said, because there's greater in you. There's some things that I have for you. I got to deal with. Moses, Brandon, he went back and he dealt with Pharaoh. Not the same Pharaoh, but it was another Pharaoh. But that Pharaoh, I believe, knew about Moses. I believe it was breaking news when Moses left. It was breaking news because this man killed an Egyptian and Pharaoh wanted to kill him. So the thing that he was running from, he had to run back to. The place that he ran from, he had to run back to. Moses that was trying to kill, the Pharaoh that was trying to kill him died. Now this other Pharaoh stood up and he ended up dying in the Red Sea. God used Moses to deliver an entire nation out of Egypt, out of the very place that he killed a man in. God said, you're not going to have to run from the place that you killed a man in. You about to go and deliver a whole nation in the same place that you killed a man in. But you got to go back to do it. I could have raised up another nation, Moses, but I'm not raising up another nation, Moses. I'm raising up the same nation that you ran from. I'm raising up the same people that's in the same place that you ran from. So you ran away for a little while, but now your running is over. You look at somebody and say, running time is over. Come on, y'all. I want you to look at them with the anointing of God in your voice. Running time is over. It's time, Elijah, for you to go and anoint Elisha. It's time, Moses, for you to go back. It's time for you to go and deal with what you need to deal with. You've been running, but you've been running in the wrong direction. You've been running in Midian. You've been running to Haran. You've been running in caves. You've been running to Tarshish. But now it's time to run like a soldier for Jesus. It's time to run with purpose. It's time to run for God. It's time to run with your vision. It's time to run with the vision of the church. It's time to do some running, but run in the right direction. It's time for you to run to God and run into the hands of God. Some of us been running to the hands of another man. You've been running to the hands of another woman. You've been running to the hands of sin. But now it's time for you to run into the hands of God. God, I'm sick of running in the wrong direction, God. I'm running into your hands, God. I'm running into your presence, God. I'm running right here, God, because only you, God, can take me, God, where I'm trying to go, God. God, I thank you, God. God, I praise you, God. So I got to deal with my bankruptcy. I got to deal with my molestation. I got to deal with my abuse. I got to deal with the rape. I got to deal with it. And it's not just no one-stop shop. It's not that we just lay hands on you and you cry and it's over with. I got to go to counseling. I got to get help. I got to talk through it. I got to bring it before God. I got to deal with it. I got to deal with it. I got to deal with it. I got to go and talk about it. I got to speak about it. I got to renounce it. I got to renounce the lie. I got to cast it down in Jesus' mighty name. And every day I got to die to this stuff. Every day I got to die to this stuff because this has been a part of my life. Some of us wrestle with homosexuality. We wrestle with lesbianism. And it's not just going to stop in one day. It's not just going to stop in one set. I got to cast it down every day of my life. Every day I wake up. I don't just die. I didn't just die 20 years ago to my flesh. I died yesterday when I got up in the morning. I died today when I got up in the morning. In the morning when I get up, I got to do the same thing over and over again so I can stay free. Some of us done got free, but then we done got back bound. When you get free, you got to stay free. I got to die to this stuff in Jesus' mighty name. I refuse to be bound another day in my life. I am free. I am free. I am set free. I am saved, sanctified. I am the man that God has called me to be because I refuse to not go back and deal with what I put under that rug. There's nothing else under the rug. There's nothing else under the rug. I have dealt with it. I have dealt with it. Now God's saying, that place you've been trying to go to, now you can go there. That thing I've been trying to do in your life, now I can do it in your life. That next level, now it's time for the next level because you weren't afraid to go back. Or maybe you were afraid to go back. But even in your being afraid, you still went back. You got to go back. If you're scared to go back, you got to go back. If you're paranoid about going back, you got to go back. But you got to realize, I need deliverance in Jesus' mighty name. I have not dealt with it. We have not. We may have talked about it, but we hadn't dealt with it. It's the difference in talking about something and dealing with it. Y'all don't want to have no church day. It's the difference in just talking about it and dealing with it. Well, we just discussed it. No, we ain't just going to discuss it. What are we going to do with it? We're going to cast it down. We're going to cast it down. And this is what we're going to do the next time. When the devil come up and speak, we're going to speak to that lie and we're going to cast it down. That's what we're going to do. Every day we're going to deal with it. That is not me. I am not my issue. I am not my sin. I am not my rape. I am not my molestation. I got to speak it. I got to fight. I got to fight. I got to keep on fighting. I got to open up my mouth and I got to be actively fighting and speaking this word out of my mouth. I got to speak it. I got to say it. I can't just think it. Well, I'm delivered and set free. No, I am delivered and set free. I am the anointed of God. I am blessed in the city. I'm blessed in the field. I'm blessed in my going in. I'm blessed in my going. I am a woman of God. I am a man of God. I am healed in Jesus' mighty name. I got to deal with it once and for all. And when you think you dealt with it, you still may not have been dealt with. I got to bring it back before the feet of the throne and say, God, I got victory over this, God. God, do it again, God. God, do it again. Refresh me again. Revive my soul again, God. Revive my soul again. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.